Radio, a medium that has been pruned, honed, trimmed, winnowed, chiseled, bonsai'd, and deposited here today, ready to be moistened with the watering can of evolutionary dew. This is the Dennis Miller Show.
1-866-509-RANT, 1-866-509-7268 is the number. I'm the editor closet, Hollywood conservative Douglas Urbanski, filling in for Dennis Miller. And we've been talking, I've been wanting to talk about Batman. This film is as good as you've heard. It's brilliant. It's everything you've heard times 10. This movie has been talked about so much. It's in more screens being released on more screens than any movie in history. You don't need my convincing. Just go. Go now. Go see it. They started showing it at midnight last night. I have friends of mine around the country who waited in line to get the first tickets to the midnight shows last night. There's all this talk about a posthumous Oscar nomination for Heath Ledger. Christopher Nolan, who's a very nice man, has made something that's not just a comic book movie, in my view. He's made a brilliant crime drama. He's rooted it in a type of internal reality that's wonderful. And it works on almost every filmmaking level you can imagine, while still being able to please, the hardcore comic book Batman fanatic. Now, we have someone who's called in, and 1-866-509-RANT is the number. And if you're amongst those people who saw Batman either this morning or in the middle of the night or last night or today, do call in. We'd love to hear from you. We've got Jeff in Chicago, where we were on Wednesday night. We had a big Chicago premiere Wednesday night. Jeff, you saw the film last night. Did it live up to the hype?
Absolutely. It was remarkable. I was lucky enough. I work for the city. I saw it at the IMAX theater, a special film office screening.
I was there too, Jeff, that night.
Terrific. Gotham, of course, is Chicago, and we look great. The city of Chicago looked great in the movie, and it's a remarkable film. I mean, it's amazing to watch. It's intense emotionally. Just like you, I was thinking about it afterwards.
Did you agree with me that it raises larger themes like friendship, loyalty, that one man can make a difference, belief in oneself, belief in those who you can trust, all these...
And it doesn't present any of those themes simplistically, too. I mean, there's conflict, there's some ambiguity, moral ambiguity about who Batman is and what he can do and can't do, and it's just remarkable film. And
what do you think? What do you think of Heath Ledger? Fabulous, huh?
I mean, what a shame that he's...
It's one of the great screen villains of all time. And somebody out there made the comment that Warner Brothers was using his death as hype. And I said, that's ridiculous. This performance would be speaking for himself whether the tragedy had occurred or not. It's a great performance.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a shoo-in for an Oscar nomination, and my guess is he'll win it, too.
Who else did you like in the movie?
Oh, I mean, I just about everybody. I mean, I thought that Aaron Eckhart was fantastic. The supporting cast from the last movie, Michael Caine and Michael Douglas. Morgan Freeman. The love interest.
Who you didn't mention there, Jeff? Did you not like Gary Oldman in it?
Oh, he was fantastic. No, I forgot about him. In fact, he's got a much bigger role in this film. And
why do you think you forgot about him? Is he just so good that you forget it's an actor?
Well, he's the kind of guy, he totally becomes the character, and you do kind of forget that, wait a minute, this is Gary Oldman who's...
Hey, Jeff, can I ask you to hold on one second?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to introduce you to somebody.
Okay.
Mr. Gary Oldman, the world's greatest actor, is on the line. Gary, did you hear what Jeff had to say about you?
I like Jeff.
Yeah, we like you, Jeff.
I mean, this is a guy who, he was Sid, and he's been so many other characters from Sid and Nancy. I mean, it's just remarkable that you could be Commissioner Gordon, and you played a convincing inner city cop.
Let me know where you live, Jeff, and I'll send you some money. Thank you.
Hey, Jeff, thank you so much for calling the Dennis Miller Show. We appreciate it very much. We are joined. That is really, we have on the line, the world's greatest living actor of his generation, Gary Oldman.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
I'm too kind. I'm a devoted fan, Mr. Oldman. I'm more devoted than I can tell you. By the way, this segment of the show is brought to you by the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Tourism. Save over $400 on the U.S. Virgin Islands Sizzlin' Summer Sampler. Mr. Oldman, you and I have been traveling around. Something occurred to me yesterday when we got back, because we were fortunate enough to give the audience, those who don't have fast little Googling fingers and haven't figured out that we know each other, we were fortunate to come back from Chicago on a private plane yesterday. And it occurred to me last night, I had none of that travel exhaustion that one normally gets.
No, you don't have anything like that. It's the most civilized way to travel. I could really, really get used to that.
Yeah, because I was not tired. You just come in, and I thought it was very dramatic the way Warner Brothers had that glistening, clean hangar.
You know, it was marvelous as the plane sort of taxis on the tarmac there, and then there's this huge hangar that could house a 747,
and it's sparkling clean.
And yes, I mean spotlessly clean, and there were I think 11 limos with the drivers standing sentry.
And the trunk's all open for our luggage.
I know, it looked like something out of Top Gun.
It looked like something out of Batman. But I realized none of that travel exhaustion makes I didn't feel like I'd gone any place other than into town or something.
Yeah, you get more exhausted driving over the hill to Beverly Hills.
You know what? And you're absolutely true. Which reminds me, I'll be seeing you soon. Gary,
yes.
You and I have never done an interview like this before, but Lord knows we've talked thousands and millions of hours to each other about this stuff.
Yeah.
Have you been in great big blockbuster movies? You've been in Air Force One. Everybody knows your movies. I'm going to give the phone number, by the way, 1-866-509-RANT, because some of you may have a question for Gary Oldman. He doesn't do radio interviews. He's a recluse. He's a hermit. He's like Howard Hughes. He's famous for avoiding these things. And we've got him up early here, called him to wake him up a little while ago. Gary, do you sense something that's like a sort of tsunami or phenomenon that's unlike any other film you've ever been connected with?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it really is. I mean, it is a phenomenon.
Do you think that's because of Heath's death, or you think that has nothing to do? This would be the same phenomenon.
I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think what people are honouring here and are excited about, first of all, it's Chris Nolan.
Right.
He's just an exceptional filmmaker. He's a wonderful filmmaker.
He certainly goes to the head of the class, though, now, doesn't he?
He really does. And he's assembled marvelous actors who are giving I think, wonderful performances. And the film is it delivers on every level.
You think Chris paid a lot of attention to getting all those plot points and that heavy story right? Because he packs a lot in there.
No, he does pack a lot in there. I mean, in the hands of a less good filmmaker, I think it might feel a little top heavy. I mean, he's done an incredible sort of conjuring trick, really. I mean, I just don't know how he keeps all these paws in the air and gives you so much and makes it work.
He seems to know what film he's making, doesn't he?
He knows the tone of the film he's making, absolutely.
And you told me before that he was one of the most relaxed and prepared people that you had ever worked with, and despite the fact that he's got these massive special effects playing out for real.
Yeah, he's a really unique director in that way. I mean, you work with Chris and you come in. Let's say it's a month in, 3 weeks in, and my role requires that I sort of I'm not there every day, so I come home and I go back. I come home and I go back, and you get back there and it's a day, it's day 157 or whatever of shooting, something ridiculous like that, and he doesn't look tired.
Gary, we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, one of the things I'm going to ask you about is the public never thinks about the idea that you're shooting a movie not only out of sequence, you're shooting it in the middle of the night. Many of the people in the scenes with you are not actually there.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about that when we get back, because you had a very, very difficult scene, without giving anything away, to play that was completely out of sequence with the way the movie plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you don't mind sticking around, it's 1-800-509-RANT, 1-866-509-RANT, 1-866-509-7268. It's Douglas Urbanski filling in for Dennis Miller. We have the world's greatest living actor, Gary Oldman, on the line, and he'll stick with us. We'll be right back.